Is a day's pleasure one of Chaplin's best, or will it ruin your day? Find out today on Really Old Movies. Welcome to Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin, and today I'll be discussing A Day's Pleasure from Charlie Chaplin in 1919. So, some essential movie details. This short film was made as a filler before Chaplin's next major film, The Kid, which would be released in 1921. And this stars many of the same cast members, including Jackie Coogan, who plays the little boy in The Kid, and Tom Wilson, who plays an angry cop in that one. Also, this was Chaplin's fourth film he made with First National Films, a company that would later go on to be bought by Warner Brothers, hence why this is on HBO Max. So the basic plot for A Day's Pleasure, a man and his family, they're going out to have a fun day together, but there's problems with his car, problems with seasickness, and problems with police that make this a very chaotic and probably memorable day for them. So now we'll get into my review. The plot, I gave a 2 out of 5. I thought it was a pretty substandard plot coming from one of the greatest directors, Charlie Chaplin, and he's also one of the greatest creators and gag writers. So the premise is a family goes out and has a crazy day. That's really it. There's not much substance. It's not much of a story. And honestly, the gags, they're the main focus, not the character development or storyline. So because of that, I gave it a 2 out of 5. Now the acting, I gave it 2.5 out of 5. It was okay, but it wasn't great. I thought the mom and the kids, they were really just sitting around a lot. They didn't do a whole lot in the movie. So they didn't bring anything really to the storyline. Chaplin is fine. Honestly, he's better in his other films like Modern Times, City Lights, etc. And the angry husband, played by Tom Wilson, he's pretty funny, but I think he's much better as the angry cop in The Kid. He's a lot better there. And honestly, even though this says Jackie Coogan's in it, honestly, you hardly see the kids at all, see their faces or anything. So I wouldn't be able to tell you which one he was. He's barely in it. So yeah, I honestly don't know where he was at. So yeah, overall the acting 2.5 out of 5. Now in regards to directing, I gave it a 3 out of 5. You know, I have to admit the gags, some of them were pretty great. Chaplin was definitely a master of visual gags, especially with the car. I thought that was hilarious how it would stop moving every time he'd get on it. I think he was much better in The Gold Rush, even though I didn't like that one as much. I thought he was better in that one with the tilting house and a couple of the other stunts and gags. So this I felt was very rushed, very last minute idea. And honestly, it feels like a filler, like it's said it is. It's supposed to be a filler film. Now, in regards to cinematography and special effects, I gave it 2 out of 5. It's not that good. You know, we're on a boat for a good chunk of the film, and it's kind of tilting back and forth to give the impression of seasickness, which kind of gets annoying. And the movie's only 20 minutes long, so this takes a good 8 minutes of it. And it's really not that funny. The funniest moments for me are when they're actually on land, like when Chaplin's trying to back up and drive on the cross street, which is crazy. There's just a guy hand motioning people to come and cross the road. It's absolutely crazy, but I thought those were the funny moments. But really, it's not that impressive. He did a lot better work in his feature films. So the music, I gave it 3 out of 5. Pretty good. The version I watched was from Criterion, and so I assume they used the original music. But it's not deep or emotional like in City Lights, but it's okay for this film. It does its job. Now, finally, that brings my Letterboxd score to a 2.5 out of 5. It's a pretty bad film. I'm not going to lie. It's not very funny. The gags get pretty old because they're very repetitious. And the seasickness, it just takes too much time in the movie, and it really wasn't that funny. I like the police officer moments when they're like falling in tar or the other one into a manhole, but it's not enough to carry the whole short. So overall, would I recommend it? No, I'm going to be honest. No, I do not recommend this. You're better off watching The Kid, City Lights, Modern Times, pretty much any of his other feature-length films. You're better off than with watching this. This I would only recommend if you're a die-hard Chaplin fan and want to see all of his work. That's when I would recommend it. But other than that, no, this is not a good short. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Make sure to subscribe to our Instagram and Facebook at Really Old Movies, where I discuss behind-the-scenes details on the week's particular film. And new podcasts are released Saturdays now at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. All right. Well, this has been Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin. Take care.